What's up everyone? So today I'm in the Lotus Evora and I've owned it for about a month now. So I've been able to, go over all the buttons, figure out where everything is and how I like everything as well. So today I'm gonna go over a few things that you may not know about the Lotus Evora in general, and also just a few quirks that I've been able to find from daily driving it. Things that, they don't bug me too much, but they're enough to at least mention. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. So first up, I'll go over the navigation screen. And so let me insert the key real quick. Go ahead and turn that on. So something that's cool that you may not know about this car is that it actually runs off of a portable navigation screen. So there's a few buttons down on the bottom of here and you can see the navigation screen starting to pop up there. What I'm gonna do is hit this open button and then hit eject for the navigation screen. And then there is the actual unit, and I can go ahead and pop that out. So this is really cool. I never even knew this existed, but with this Alpine system, this is what you get. So the screen, the larger screen here actually runs off of this unit. And so we'll see it turn on there. It's the exact same setup. It works the exact same way as that screen, of course. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure not many people know that this actually runs off of a portable unit. So if I ever need this, in another car or something, all I have to do is pop it out, take it with me, and I can use it in, for another reason, which is pretty cool. So go ahead and pop that back in, hit close. There's close. And so that's pretty neat. One thing that I don't really like that much is that even with the car shut all the way off, you can't leave the key in the ignition because it will just keep the power on in the vehicle. So if you take the key out, everything will shut off. But even if I just insert it just like that, you'll see the navigation screen start up and you can actually start listening to music and things like that. So it's not a big deal, but every time I shut the car off, I have to have the key either with me, or if I leave the windows down, I'll just leave it somewhere in the car. That way, in case it locks or anything, I'm still able to reach inside and get the key. Next up is that there's no dead pedal in this vehicle. So here's the clutch right here, and then that's as far as my foot will go over. So I've gotten used to putting my foot up underneath the clutch, if I'm out on the highway cruising, or just having it back here somewhere. So it's not a big deal that there's no dead pedal, but I'm actually getting used to not having one. So if I do get in a manual that has a dead pedal, I really just kind of put my foot like this. So it's not a big deal. It's pretty tight down here for sure, with the brake pedal and the gas like very close to each other. You can touch both of them, almost cover both of them with one foot. So it's, it's not bad, but again, just something to point out. So 2010 was the first year that Lotus came out with the Evora. And for being a first year production vehicle, it's actually pretty neat to have this, not only have the navigation screen, but if I put it into reverse, I also have a backup camera, there's Bluetooth, and a few other features. So for being a first year vehicle, that's pretty cool that they have this whole system in here, and a lot of cool daily driver features that the purpose of this car was made for, meant to be more comfortable than the Elise and have a lot more storage, a lot more just daily driver comforts like cruise control, and even some storage in the doors here. So it's, a great daily driver, and it's got a lot of comforts that a normal vehicle would have. Next up is this little screen on the left side of the dash. So you can see you have your temperature outside, there's a clock, you have a few things to scroll through. So there's your range, your average fuel consumption. It also shows your average speed in kilometers per hour. But what's interesting about the clock is that it actually goes to military time. So there's the time. It is now 1 o'clock, but of course it shows up as 1300. Hopefully that's something that I get used to. Even now, I've been in the car about a month. If that were to say like 1530, I'd still have to go 1314, so it'd be 330. For now, that's how I have to do it, which is kind of funny, but hopefully the more I drive this car, the more I'll remember certain times. It's kind of a funny thing to see military time in the afternoon. So next up on the list, there's actually a portion of the hood that opens up. And in order to get to that, we have to reach way down under the gas pedal here and pop this tab right there. So up front, we can actually lift this portion of the hood up, and that's where you have your windshield washer fluid and also your brake fluid. So that's pretty neat that that opens up. I didn't even know that when I got the car, but that's where you can adjust those. And then also, if you need to swap out the one windshield wiper, you can loosen this up. That way you can take this up to remove that. So that's pretty neat to see. So another thing that I've noticed that, again, it's not a huge deal, but this is the lock and unlock button for the doors. So if I'm pushing on that right now, you see here it's not doing anything. If I have the door shut, now we have unlock and lock. So it doesn't work if one of the doors is open, which is kind of, it's not a big deal again, but if I have, you know, if I'm in the car and I didn't hit the key fob 3 times to unlock the passenger side, and I'm trying to hit this switch, but I have my door open, it's almost easier just to reach across and unlock it. So it's not a huge deal again, but I wish it would work when a door is open. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to hit this, and when I could have just reached over and done that instead. So next up is the center armrest. Well, I do like it. You know, it's nice and comfortable. I don't have, it's a perfect height for even shifting. It moves up, and there's nothing underneath it. I mean, if you are a little bit bigger than me and maybe you had longer arms, so this was your armrest instead, I could see that, you know, moving up, but there's not even a compartment or anything under there, so I don't know, it's kind of useless to me to move up. I'm always going to leave it here just because it's a perfect height for myself. One thing about this car, while it is very nice inside, we have leather along the whole dash, full leather seats, even leather all on the door panel. The actual leather around this compartment here is just plastic covered in leather. So while it is, you know, it looks nice, again, it's just all plastic covered in leather. So, you know, it looks nice, but they could have at least maybe covered that up in something else other than just using plastic. And the door sills are leather as well, but they are actually Velcroed into place. So if I can get this to pop up, I don't want to pull it out, but if you can hear that, there's Velcro all along this piece. And I'm actually just going to leave it because I don't want to pop it up again. So along with those pieces, the Velcro actually carries on into the back. So the bottom and back portion of the seat is Velcroed in. I know there's some glue that's used to help hold them down, but for the most part, I know there's Velcro around a majority of the pieces back here, and then there's some screws back and behind there. Interesting to point out that Velcroed in place, and we got plastic on the inside. So it's not, it's a nice interior, but maybe some of the parts they could have used could have been a little bit nicer. So something that I learned the hard way in this car is that this is a dead button right here. There is no inside release button for the rear trunk. Now, if you get the comfort package for the 2010, you get that button inside so you can release the trunk, and all of the 11 and newer models come standard with it. So obviously I don't have the comfort package with that interior button, but what I do have is behind the passenger seat, right up under this back seat, is a black little handle right here. So giving that a good pull like I just did is my second release for the trunk. So not only do I have one on the key fob, that's my second one. So it would have been nice if they had already done that on the 2010, even without the comfort package. It would have been cool to have that button there, because, you know, obviously that would make sense rather just having it on the key fob itself. So it's not a big deal, but I found out the hard way that you always have to have the key on this model with you at all times. And next on the list is, while the Evora is, you know, meant to be a daily driver, it's a lot more, well, it's a lot larger than the Elise for sure. You do get back seats, and to be honest, they're kind of pointless unless you're, you know, like this tall, but they are great for extra storage. I put a lot of things in there, groceries and such like that, because the trunk, obviously, since it's a mid-engine, it gets extremely hot in the trunk, so I have to be very careful about what I put back there. Any type of groceries are not going back there, so it's really good to have the back seat option. Even though I probably won't have anybody in the back seats, it's good extra storage for that daily driving capabilities. So last up on the car, that's not, again, not a huge deal, but if I go ahead and turn the car on and I have the headlights on, there's actually no off switch for the headlights. You can see they're on right now, and there is actually a toggle switch, I guess, right up underneath the headlight switch. So this one right here, when you press on that, it just adjusts the brightness of the gauges. It doesn't actually shut the headlights off. You can shut the headlights off at night, so when I go to shut the car off, if I take the car out, you can hear it beeping because the headlights are still on. So if I push on that, it'll shut the headlights off, but when you're driving through the day, they're automatically on. There's no actual off switch, so even when it's, you know, bright and sunny out, they're gonna be on. I don't know if that's a big deal or not. I'm not sure if it's gonna burn the headlights out sooner than being able to shut them off. So I might be able to try to find some kind of switch or release that I can do to do that, to shut them off. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video of things you may not have known about the Evora, and just some quirks here and there about the car as I get to drive it more. I'm sure I might find a few more things that aren't perfect, but not every car is gonna be exactly perfect. But even with all those little minor things, I still absolutely love my Lotus Evora, and there'll be a ton more videos to come. Hope you guys enjoyed the video again. If you did, give it a thumbs up, click on that subscribe button down below, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram. I'll see you all next video.